Hello, and welcome to Havoc Wargaming, dedicated to bringing you the uncommon. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Ron, and today we're going to do a box opening video of 0200 Hours Desert Raid Supplement by Great For Now Games. So let's get started. "0200 Hours is a game by Great For Now Games involving in sneaky espionage attacks in World War II. So far it is always allies against, in fact, well, so far it's all British or in one case resistance against the Germans. That may change in the future, but that's what it is so far. So let's get started right here, and that'll get us right to the package itself. 0200 Hours. It comes in a cardboard box, just as all the others have so far. Let's go ahead and get started and see what comes in this package. I'm going to mention before I begin, this game has a little bit of controversy. That a lot of people have complained, not without some reason, that this game could have easily been a solo game. The Germans have very little that they get to do in the beginning phases of the game before the alarm is raised. It's almost all done by sort of dice rolls and AIs. That's a valid concern. They have addressed that by a solo version of the game, which is now available for free on their webpage. I think it's worthy to mention, particularly with this package, which is going to be mostly figures, that it's probably worthwhile to purchase just for the figures. This game could easily have been played with some other rule sets. I do like the 0200 Hour games, but I definitely understand that concern. In fact, before I first played it, I felt that my Germans would feel like they weren't really playing a game, like they were just sitting there moving figures. And I've played a few games now, and I've only had that response from one of the German players. So I do think the game works, but I know there is this concern. And you could very easily play this same game using a number of other games that are out there. If you wanted a more cinematic version of this, you could easily use Osprey's Black Ops. If you wanted a more realistic version of that, you might be able to use Spectre Operations, at least the old one. I'm assuming the new one, when it comes out, I have that on order, and I imagine that'll still be able to do it. In fact, it looks to me like they may be improving on its ability to do the secretive sneaking around parts of the game. You could easily make your own cards for this, or use central casting cards and use 7TV. I would use part of the Spy-Fi rules for that, maybe the Pulp rules for that if you were going with a genre. And in a similar fashion, you could very, very easily make a game of this for Pulp Alley. Either making up a Pulp Alley game where one side's the Germans and one's are the British, or maybe some other factions working as a co-op game. Two people are running the British against with the Germans as NPCs, like they do some of the China campaign stuff. I wasn't going to buy this set. Originally, I wasn't going to buy it because I've got the other expansions for this game, and I still haven't assembled and painted them. But I got to tell you, I really like Artisan's figures. And this time, instead of using plastic figures by Wargames Atlantic, and they're doing that company has come a long way from where it used to be, and is putting some nice figures together. I'm not putting down the Wargames Atlantic figures that came with the original package. I actually really like those. But Artisan Designs just does some absolutely beautiful, really distinctive looking figures, particularly for Pulp, for their French Foreign Legion figures. They do a great set of U-boat sailors that I really want to get for my Empress U-boat. And these figures here. So I bought this mostly because of these gorgeous, gorgeous figures. So we're going to open up some of the packages. The first one I have here, it comes with a Test of Honor label. Oh, I see. It's 0200 Hours on the one side and Test of Honor on the other, their other big game. Free bonus content available at greatfornow.com. Download, print bonus missions, optional rules, FAQ, and additional stats. There's also a 10% code here. So that's nice. That's nice. I think every one of these cards is going to have that in there. What's nice is, since they didn't do the plastic figures this time with plastic bases, they have put together some wood and MDF bases. So these are the SAS and LRDG guys, the British forces. It's only 4. That's a little bit of a disappointment to me, but it'll work in this game. If you were going to use these for other things, you'd probably need to buy another figure or two. Again, as I said, these are just really fun sculpts. This guy, a bunch of flash, but that's, you know, Not a big deal. Not a lot of mold lines, a little bit. But there is some flash. There's a guy with a Thompson. Looks like they all have Thompsons. No, one guy's got a Sten. So those are the Allied forces in that particular package. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the Africa Corps figures that come with here. Again, there's a handful of MDF tokens. Okay, here are the guys. There is a German with a these are all 3 Germans with submachine guns, one with a rifle. These are probably all various sentry fellows, unless they've created new positions, but those are probably part of the sentry teams. There's usually either a single rifle or a single submachine gun, or there's a team with one of each. All right, so the next box, these are all casualties, German casualties. Casualties are important to the game. If they're left exposed, they can help sound the alarm and give away your position. So they are important figures to have, and in the other game they were extras, as I recall. Maybe it came with 1 or 2. So that is a sentry with a submachine gun, a sentry with a rifle, and a dog handler. That's one of the nice things about the game, is the use of the dogs, and the dogs have an expanded ability to smell. They have an increased range for detecting the enemy. That's a nice little feature too. Figures have all been about the same quality, a bit of flash. Here in my hand, German with a submachine gun. This is a Allied Bren gunner, German with a rifle. This is a Brit. He's got a bolt cutter, and he's got a big bag. He could probably be a number of very specialist positions. And I think this is the RAF pilot, who's probably necessary for certain scenarios, is my suspicion. So here we have another dog handler, pretty much the same figure I think as the last one, another rifleman, another submachine gunner, and an officer. I think they're actually calling it Rommel. Another LRDG guy with, or SAS probably, with a Thompson, another Africa Corps with a rifle, an LRDG guy with a knife, it looks like. It's probably the Ghost, and we'll talk about him in a moment. And then this is probably an NCO for Germans. So lots of little guys in that package. Good figures. I wish these were painted up for you. I don't know how well you're making out the detail on them. As I mentioned, this is mostly lead. So this would be, I think, worth it. I didn't do the math. I don't know how much it costs to buy these figures individually, but my suspicion is you're getting a better deal getting it this way. Then we have the cards. This is the part that you would need if you weren't going to play the game. There's the Ghost. That's what I was just talking about. The Ghost is a character. They're listing him as a subordinate. SAS Unique Veteran SMG Combat Knife and Grenades. That's for a recruitment card. LRDG Commander. Of course, there should be a commander, at least one commander in support. There's the Commander Veteran Standard. He can take transport for free. The other one with the bag and the bolt cutter is the LRDG Sergeant. There he is. LRDG Troopers. Trooper, single trooper, and trooper. Yeah, Erwin Rommel. Seasoned Troopers. Another Seasoned Troopers. Seasoned Trooper. Seasoned Trooper. Luftwaffe pilot. Okay, these others, still requisition. There's a disguise. After deployment, replace one deployed sentry with a single trooper from the attacker's force. The attacker cannot have another requisition card. There's the transportation. You know, the LRDG is known for its long-range vehicles, and that's its long-range desert group. And this is a game in which the vehicles don't really have much of an effect, which is a shame because they're beautiful little models, and I'd love to have some. But they make up for it by special game rules. I don't really know how that all works yet. Veteran cards, prepared for conditions, check the forecast, making use of the weather, order, synchronized watches. Okay, they have like a rules card in here explaining the weather event cards in the LRDG and SAS and Africa Corps and how that works and how to modify it with normal cards. So these are used in addition to the cards that come with the basic game. There is a calm weather event, poor visibility weather event, bright moonlight weather event, dust and sand weather event, stormy night, defensive event. There's flare, and that's what comes in the package. Like all of their games so far, it comes in a little plastic divided box that you can use to help keep your stuff in. They're kind of flimsy. I don't know how they'll hold up. They feel a lot like those little throwaway boxes you get holding salads at some supermarkets and things. But they're a convenient way to carry some of the stuff for the game. I hope that was interesting to you. I think this is a clever game. I've been enjoying it. I'm glad they came out with the solo war rules. I think you could also play the game cooperatively, probably by with the addition of the solo rules. I haven't tried that, but I think it's possible. I wonder how many of you have actually are playing of 200 hours. If any of you do play it, let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you have any questions regarding this video and the package I just talked about, we look for those in the comment section, obviously. And also we go there for any ideas for further content you'd like to see us produce here on Havoc Wargaming. If you've enjoyed the video, I hope you'll hit like. And if you'd like to receive further notifications for videos like this one that may help you better determine how to spend your time or money in your tabletop wargaming hobby, then I hope you will hit subscribe and ring our notification bell. Till next time, cheers.